Good evening, people. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Uh, for those that have, and we know most of the people are going to be with their families and such. Uh, so if you can share it out, still working on these banners and comments and stuff like that. So Christina, nice to see you again. We're going to try. We're going to try to do this Avenel house again. This time with me being here. Once, if it doesn't work out, then we're gonna go to. We did a pre-record last night of it, so that way, and hopefully it went through and everything. So there are things I know Linda will want to share when she comes in. So I'm gonna try it, see if it works. Let me know.
under every stairwell. Hey, there's a couple stairwells in this house. Really? Which is unheard of in this time. We're glad they do it because they are just profitable. Oh, wow. Because we are a museum house, but we're also a venue. Now, of course, electricity wasn't there. Yes, but it goes all the way up underneath the stairwell, which is just unheard of. And people say, well, why didn't they have closets? Because they were taxed on it. Anything with 4 walls and a door is considered a room, and you were taxed on it. But this house was built to be a showcase. This house was built to show the world. This house was built in this town. It was known as Liberty, which is when you drive around, you see Liberty High School, Liberty Middle School, Liberty this. I don't know. Do you know when it was changed to Bedford? It went from Liberty to Bedford City, and then Bedford. Avenel Plantation really doesn't tell us on that. Yeah, I don't know. But by 1910 or 11, I know Bedford City. And we're down in County, and we're no longer. Yeah, we had a reversion. Now we're in town. Never go back to being a city after reversion. Yeah. But we have built-in closets, and then a lot of people think this was the end of the house, and that's all an addition. No. This was all part of it. And then people say, well, that's the servant stairwell. No, because they would not have been as ornate as the main stairwell. This is probably known as one of the very first in-law houses. Because when they moved here, Mr. and Mrs. Pearl, who were the builders, architects of this house, when they moved here, they came with 2 of their daughters, because they had the other 2 after they moved in. Their widowed Pearl.
All I'm doing is go get your clothes, go to the car.
And that's Mrs. Francis Necco. Her bachelor's. So this is their front door. Now, a lot of people think that's the front door because it's on Avenel. Avenel wasn't here. Yeah, there was nothing here. This was one of the first houses built. That was the main entrance. There was the circular drive, and several years ago, they had it all repaved and really stuff nice out there. This is the entrance where if somebody would come in to visit the steps house, they would have come in this side entrance and then gone right up the steps. This is semi-eccentric. I will tell you, because you are here for paranormal, this always very active. Very active. I had a
Did somebody fall down
the other night.
Did somebody fall down the stairs?
No. Oh yeah. You'll find a lot of activity in the town. Absolutely. We had one group that was in here, and all 4 of them, because usually they come in 4s or 5s. All 4 of them were down here at that entrance doorway, but all of a sudden pennies were being thrown out from the balcony. Now where the pennies came from, we don't know. But they had pennies that were being thrown out. But there was nobody there because when they come in most groups, and it's totally up to you after I leave, you can or O3. A lot of groups. Nobody comes in. People see activity. Yeah. I have to keep that. When you were over on when you were really 19, it was almost like somewhere going home there. That's why I looked it up. So was it? Yeah. You never know. Well, I think they used to you're all the time to get you. And then they say in the distance. And sometimes they just like certain people better than others. I know. We also have not been very active. The things are slowly starting to pick up with the big parties, because we usually do a lot of renting, the big party. It's starting to pick up, but it's really been slow. Yeah, I think they're lovely. They're used to having people come through. And I know last year, the very first investigation we had, I mean, it was just off the chart, because it was the first time that somebody been in the house for like 4 months. And tell you how many times I'll come in here and I'm like, really? You know, so I have to report. I have to go get the remote, come back, turn it off, and then I'll turn around and the door thing comes back on again. And so I know. They said they were unlocking the back door outside, and so I had to yell at them. Times the way they are, if someone got in here and did a lot of construction, replace it or fix it or anything. Yeah, I said, this is your home, respect it. This is the home.
This house, in my opinion, is very female dominant.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they sometimes feel threatened by other strong females.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of questions, pretty formidable. Yeah. But one of the things I do want to point out, I pointed out the closet, we will still take because it's in-law suite, but also in this room and in the next room, these are all original hand plastered. And so this is 183 years old also. The ring there of flowers represents the tobacco. This was a working plantation. It was originally 200 acres. It went from College, I was going to say College Street, all the way to Bridge Street, from Peak, which is right down to the end of this block, all the way to Main Street. That was the boundary. They did have 100 classrooms there. They had, if you look on Avenel Avenue and face the property, on the right-hand side, you'll kind of see like a little indentation wall there. That was known as Oak Way, because it used to be lined with all these oak trees. And all along that path were all the cottages that belonged to the pastor. They lived there. They had their own little home that they lived in. Okay, thank you. They also had little garden plots around each one of the properties. They were fed, they were closed, but they could do whatever they wanted with that garden plot. They could grow vegetables themselves, or they could take it to the market. We know this history because the daughters all had diaries. And they write it out. They write all about the day-to-day instances. They talk about the people they came to, the step toes and the pearls, and that is Burwell. I'm from Maryland, I would say Burwell. Yeah, Burwell. It's pronounced Burwell, and the way to remember that is rhymes with Burwell. So that's how I have to remember it. And I did an interview for Lynchburg Now, and I said Burwell. And they're like, here is Burwell, but Burwell. They were very prominent families here. He especially was big in politics. And we'll go to here so we can talk about it. This is the portrait of the Honorable William Prairie Girl. We give him the title because he was in the house. And it is because of him that the Piedmont Railroad came to the area. And if you were down at the Liberty Station restaurant, that was the railroad station. That house. When did he die? When did he die? Okay. Now, he was a real rascal. Terrible rascal. Before I talk about him, this room also has the hand plasterwork. In the inside of the primitive whale feathers. And once again, this is actually the holler ring across here on the plantation. And then all the way around the room, you see the grapevines and the clusters of grapes. They will also name those for their vineyards, especially their Sangria. But if you know anything about wines in colonial 1800s, even in the early 1900s, wines in Maryland, not Maryland, but all wines, you open the bottle, you drink the bottle. Yeah. You didn't let it sit. You didn't put it over the next day. You know, but they were known for their sangria, which is a blend of fruits and the wine. And so that's why that is all around the outer wall. Also original to the house, 1838. Original to the house are all of the floors, all of the walls, and all of the ceilings. I would say probably 80% windows are all original. With the earthquake, the walls were not destroyed. They cracked them, and some of them had to be replaced. There's quite a few other ones that need to be replaced. We're trying to But he was always away doing his family was close personal friends with Thomas Jefferson. His father was Thomas Jefferson's private secretary for years. So, you know, he knew these people. They were the movers and shakers at this time. I can only imagine how much politics and decisions made in this house. But he also was given a honorary title during the Civil War. He was in charge of the battalion. Did he fight in that battalion? No. But he had that honor and that title. But after the Civil War, that rascal left. He went down to New Orleans where he was living like a king. Then he left Mrs. Burles and her 4 daughters, because she had 4 daughters at that time. The mother-in-law and the brother-in-law to run the plantation. While he was out having his good time down in Orleans. And they say he really did live it up down in Orleans. But when he became sick, he did come home. The arms accepted him home and took care of him. But I think he looks like Samuel Clemens. First time I saw it,
He does. And is this a good time for you guys to do a little impact tour?
absolutely.
Okay. His first name is William. So William Burroughs. As I told you, the house here, the White House after that, was built in 1866 by L.D. Heyman, also a Delaware lawyer, very prominent at the time. I'm sure they.
Oh, they probably knew.
I mean, they might be able to have them Bedford Avenue, so I'm sure they. Yeah. Steve and I moved into the house in the summer of 2015, and I think it was in 2016 we went to Maine for vacation. Found ourselves in Wisconsin, just southern Maine. And I was in an antique mall, and I saw a portrait of a gentleman. It was in frame. And I looked at the tag, and it said, well, he'd be interested in this. Blair Burroughs, Powhatan, Virginia. And I thought, what? It was spelled exactly the same way. And at the time, my son, our younger son, was a new member of the board. So I quickly texted Steph, and it said, hey, I said, do you know anything about a Blair Burroughs? And I said, it says Powhatan, Virginia. So he consulted with another member of the board who is in charge of our genealogy library. And she said, well, off the cuff, and what I'm saying, there's a lot of Blair Burroughs. She said, I believe him to be first cousin to William. So what is the chance of that? I couldn't afford it that year. It's kind of out of my price range. But we went back the following year. And guess what? The lady that owned it was going out of business. So she sold it to me for like 75% off, and I grabbed it. So he's hanging, his cousin is hanging in my house.
That's nice.
But isn't that bizarre?
That is.
But that's not.
There's a reason for that. Yeah, there's a reason. There's definitely a reason. Absolutely. Also, all of the fireplaces, there are 8 fireplaces in this house. And one of them red brick. Well, most of them are brick. But, you know, not red brick. I mean, they're either marble or the wood, but the inside here are brick. Now, we went ahead and painted. We painted them years ago black. I don't know. They were painted black. We just had work done this year. All 8 fireplaces. Because the oldest it is she's stand. Or and they start to crumble. So that's why there's different colors. And we all like the way it looks. We decided we didn't want to redo that. We really like it this way. It looks like it was a huge fireplace. None of the fireplaces are useful now. The second down is the dollar kind of the name of it. And it was heated. And we really don't want burning fires here. He's at 183 years old. We want to keep it around for since they are all brick, it's just if you're talking about this part, they're either marble or wood. We do have some original furniture. The 2 in the foyer and this one is all original. Mirrors down below, and it's like, why do they have the mirror down there? I mean, kids from up or something. This is so that they check the hem of their skirt to make sure married, and just a couple of days later, he was shipped out. And so here she is, a married woman, and her husband was from Virginia. And during that particular time frame, during the Civil War, and during the wars of Europe, people would go and go to encampments. They would also go to watch the battles. Very famous painting of Gettysburg during the Battle of Gettysburg, were on a hill are all the community and their carriages and having big lunches so they could watch the battle. So it's not unusual that she wanted to be with her husband. So she got in her carriage and was taken up to where he was in Northern Virginia. While she was there, she contacted Tom. For us to drive from Northern Virginia, it'd be about 3 hours. Well, that was several days. By the time she got back to the house, she was so sick that she did not make it. She didn't cry. It's one of the reasons Mrs. Earl would not allow in the late 1800s running water in the house. She was afraid that it would bring in disease. And so the closest water, and I'll show you the problem, the closest water is that side of the but they had 4 daughters. We didn't talk about the daughters. There was Letitia, the oldest. She went by Betty. She never married. Then there was Catherine or Kate. She got married to a Dr. Bauer, YPR. And of course, the old doctor did the stereotype doctor. In fact, he was so cocky in it that the house diagonally across here was the house that he had built for his a widow from England. But when the town found out about it, they chased him out of town and he ended up going to Texas. However, years later, after she had died, he came back to Denver and he had married her in Denver. But he and Kate were married for a period of time and they had 1 daughter. Lillian had 5 sons, and her 6th child was a little girl. Mother and child both died of childbirth. And we have pictures in the other room that I'll show you now. And then after Fan, the 4th daughter was Rosalie, or Roosevelt. She don't buy Roosevelt. She's the only portrait that we have. We'll see that in the other room also. So they did have a son, but he died when he was 11. And right now, my life depended on, I couldn't tell you that child's name. I want to say James, but I can't remember because it's very little talk about it. None of the daughters talk about it because she didn't have time and died.
Where is he there? Is he on the property or?
Well, they don't know. We don't know. One of the things is that he's one of the spirits that we don't know. Because he's not mentioned anywhere. It's only during research that we found his birth and death records. So we know that he's one of the sons. He had him, but unfortunately. He's the spirit that we think is here. There is a little boy or a little child.
I think the only way we would really be able to document is through process of elimination. Longwood Cemetery, Greenwood. I'm not sure when that started. I know we've got who in there right now.
Well, all of them are buried in there.
So anybody that died prior to the start of that could be somewhere on the property.
Actually, there's been theory that they think the mother was so distraught with it that they think his body was wrapped in because when we had people up in the attic, we had FX came here and the side hiring channel were here and they did all this stuff. They had really strong sense of reading that something was in the attic. And
It's very creepy by today's standard. They would mummified and then sometimes.
I used to take pictures when the camera came out.
I can get it though, but I think a dead baby that's been mummified and you put it out is just
Really creepy. I was just reading recently when they discovered in Egypt, in England, whenever they were finally solving these different things, they were buying mummies to sell to the people in England that they could display in their house.
Yeah.
And they said it got so bad that they were taking vibrant homeless people in Egypt and actually killing them and mummifying them to sell them so people could have their bodies. And I thought, oh my God, that's just disgusting.
Talk about bad juju in your house.
Oh, we're going to go over to the other room and I can show you
wanted to show you, this is, first cousin, you can see the resemblance.
Oh, yeah.
And you're not, is that not so eerie?
Have you seen him? No, I've never seen that. Yeah, that's definitely. Yeah. You can see it. Goes, down into the dining room. Again, another closet. This was the dining room area. This was always in the dining room area. This is where they would have had their meals together. This is where they would have had their banquets. There is a closet that would have been their pantry. They would have had like their jams and their butter and their wine and all that kind of stuff in there. This is Mrs. Burl, the matriarch of the family. We believe that that is her wedding portrait. You know, back in the 1830s, they didn't wear white gowns. That wasn't until Queen Victoria's age. That is also a portrait of her much later in time. She was known here on the plantation and in the town. So if you ever hear anything about Old Miss, that's who she said that. She said behind me. She is here. She is here. Now, you can see these are substantial size chandeliers. Now, of course, they're not the original. When we started renovating the house, they were donated to us. Because we are a venue, we're a museum house, but a venue, we put them in. This swing is literally swing. These walls are 2 feet thick. You can jump up and down on one of the stairs. These things are not going to move. But that thing will actually swing. We had a wedding in here not too long ago, and it was swinging along, and it was an evening rain. They had everything dim when it was time to cut the cake, and they announced that every light in the house was bright. You know, we did that, and nobody did that. You know, it was just a beautiful bright. The kitchen was originally a porch. This was an outside door. It was the second family. There was only 2 families that have ever lived in this house. Earl County, 1838 to 1906, and then 1906 to 1985 was the Ballard family. And they came to be able to own this property because the very last person that they did was Bishop, the oldest daughter. None of the daughters were taller than 5 feet. All around 4, 8, 4, 9, 4, 10. And she was here by herself, this big house. So the little Ballard boy used to come and help. He would do chores and he would do errands for her. So after she passed, the youngest daughter, who was married, moved to Kentucky, had children, but not one got married. She thought that the Ballards had married. So it was husband and wife and 6 children. They put in the kitchen. We just renovated it about 6 years ago. And then they put in the 2 bathrooms, one in the other room. So they had the first one in the other. Sort of cut outside and then cut back inside.
We're outside.
We're outside, now we're back inside. This is the bathroom that was added by the Ballard family. And there's the portrait of the Ballard family. And then this portrait here, that's the only portrait we have of one of the daughters. That is the youngest daughter. And this is one of the fireplaces you can see. That's great revival. I told you Kate had 1 daughter, Lillian. And Lillian was one that had 5 boys, died in childbirth with her daughter. That is her oldest son. Lillian married Campbell County. I don't know how much you know about Virginia. Campbell County is a big county. Next one over, that family. And so he was an officer of Fort Worth. We just found out last year, youngest brother. So this would have been the great-grandson of the original owner. The youngest son, based out there. The youngest son was a professor at Notre Dame. Now this house, when it was original, when he was a little boy here, the kitchen was outside. This is a separate building. In fact, I used to take a picture. But in 1980, the end of 1980s, we had back-to-back snowstorms. And it took the weight of the snow just collapsed down. And so we just bought the house. The house was in very poor shape that we decided we just could not take care of the house and rebuild the kitchen. So we didn't. That's why it's not there. and there's that water bill that is the closest running water fountain to the house.
Oh, wow.
It's still used, thank goodness, it's used to move the ground with. So the youngest grandson, Professor Archie, Professor Notre Dame, he was given property on the grounds of Notre Dame in order to build a home. Obviously, he was well known there. And after he died a couple of years ago, Notre Dame decided they didn't want it there anymore. They were going to destroy it, tear it down. But it was an exact replica of the kitchen. And he used to talk to all the people there and talk about his time spent here in Avenel, in the kitchen that they have behind the big house and everything. So last year we had a professor that knew him and knew and talked to him and heard all the stories. He wanted to verify that really from Avenel and blah, 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 blah. And so of course I connected him to our historian here. And yeah, indeed it was. Oh, wow. So he was buying it from the college who knew that he could live in this house that was replica of our kitchen. So I thought that was cool. And then these pictures over here, this here is Mrs. Burrell. She died October 30th, 1898. So this was like the late 1800s, that picture, before she died, of course. But I love, you can see how a barrel is holding that porch up. And you can see how the porch was just right there by the door. Each entrance had their own porch. It was the Ballard family that surrounded the porch with the wraparound, and we're very, very glad they did. But that is Mrs. Burrell. This here is Mrs. Ballard. She was the horsewoman. She loved her horses, which is one of the reasons they built the barn to keep her horses in. And so that is her, and you can see the small porch, and it used to have an upper porch above it. That is no longer there. It is our dream to rebuild that one day. But it's down on the list of all the things. And again, the portrait of the house in the condition that it was in. This little girl here is Peggy. Peggy was 6 years old when she moved in here. And oh, you know what? I told you I would show you the picture of the house. This was taken in 1865 after the Civil War. The picture is in a book that's in Charlottesville. And not illegally the picture because they don't want you touching everything. They have all of the original diaries. They have all the original. Everything is up in Charlottesville. Mr. Burrell attended the University of Charlottesville, which is probably why it was sent to them. But this is the house, and unfortunately, my phone won't go sideways. But you can see after the war, there's the house, there is the kitchen behind the house. See this little white building there? That was a greenhouse. Letty, the oldest daughter, was big on flowers and plants and things. But what makes this greenhouse really special is 2-story. Ground level and then under the ground. Now, the only thing I can think, if there's no documentation what she grew, was probably used as a root cellar and then probably mushrooms. Because they would done mushrooms there. But what I really like, see these little white sticks? Yeah. You get a magnifying glass and really blow them up. These are the black servants walking along that path. That was remember see all these trees back here? Yeah. These were the oak trees. Now, we don't have well, here's one of the little cottages. You can just barely see a little cottage there. But unfortunately, when you blow it up more, it gets out of focus. But these here are the people walking along that path.
Definitely see that. You can tell with their legs, their dresses.
Yeah. Isn't that neat? But yeah, that's a picture. Have you ever seen this? Oh, it's really a neat picture in here. I showed you the picture of Peggy when she was a little girl. Peggy lived in this house from the time she was 6 until she was in her late 80s. Of the 6 children, she's the one that stayed here. She got married in this house. She had her only son in this house. She outlived her husband. She outlived her son. Though her son had married and had a son also. The house was literally falling apart. And we have pictures upstairs, as you can see, when we took over the house. Because Peggy also was only 4'10", all by herself, living in this huge house. She could not do it. It was then when the neighbors and the community got together and formed the foundation, the Avenel Plantation, which is a volunteer-based nonprofit. The reason we got together was to restore this building and to preserve the history. Building 183 years old, and only 2 families have lived in it. But the history in this house, the people that have been in this house, unbelievable. But she stayed here. She finally realized she could not stay and preserve it. So the neighbors took over, bought the property from her, but she didn't move very far. The little apartments right next door, this is where Peggy lived. And so what happened is as we were restoring and doing things, Peggy was over here and the construction workers were scared to death of this woman. At 4'10", she ruled the roost. She would get underneath them and just talk, when you don't go that way, you know. And so, you know, she loved this home. This was her beloved home. She died when she was 106. She died in 2002. She was 102 years old. Her grandson, who lives in Alabama, came up and asked, can we have the service here at the house? So they did, and then they went and had her buried, and then they came back to the house in order to have the reception afterwards. And so the grandson, him and his uncle, now it was the uncle on his father's side, so he had nothing to do with the house. He did not believe it. And Peggy, bless her heart, when they moved in, she and her mother and her sisters saw the white lady walking on the ground. And we are very, very fortunate that we have sat down with Peggy and had some videos that she saw. She's telling the stories about how she saw the white lady and different things. So we got a lot of the history from her. She was the big tail end of it. These people. So, grandson, as they were leaving, in 2002, did not have a digital camera, so he took 2 pictures of the house, his car sitting there ready to go, and a picture of the house. The first picture turned out, he showed it to us. It's like, oh, how nice. It's a picture of the car in front of the house. Then he showed us the second picture that he took. Oh, can you see Peggy? Her eyes, the shape of the head, that is Peggy right there. She is here. Have you seen that? Yeah. So Peggy has not gone very far.
Past facilities director, and one day she came in early, they were getting ready to have an event, and she opened up the door, and she hears, hello? And so she assumed that somebody else had gotten here early as well.
This room is only room where the parents live at home, and there is that outside door, right? The office. At the same time, this is where the 2 most have their lessons. And when they first started to learn how to read and write, because of course, teacher was on to the house. When they were learning to read and write, they decided the slaves needed to know how to read and write. You're talking about the 1840s, little girls, many slaves wanted to learn to read and write. And come here and study in the schools for teaching. And we knew this because we know that the Earl and Virginia had a lot of people. The girls raised out all the people that came here. They talked about parties. They talked about the day-to-day living. They talked about the slaves, of course. However, they never really considered them slaves. And out of respect for another person, they called them Avenel. So it's a little bit different than what you hear about some and such. In fact, at the end of the Civil War, few did leave, the majority of them they were not here. There is a slave cemetery between College Street and 4th Avenue. This room was the girls' private across the library. And they came from England, when they came from England, furniture was massive. The manor homes in England, they developed considered a small house. So this was massive furniture, not from the 1830s. This was in 1700s, possibly late 1600s.
The holidays.
It was so massive. They were and also so that the girls could reach them, because they were all tiny little girls. So this particular room was showing you is the lecturer talking and making fun of the teachers. Rest of that. I can only imagine the people that sat in this room and discussed politics and how much things changed because of the people sitting in here. We know that he went to school with David Avenel. We know that he went to Richmond. We know he went to Baltimore. We know he went to New Orleans. We have no record. And the reason we say that, they wrote about when the father was there, that never heard out here. Wouldn't that have been something? That's what I'm here. Oh, wow, that was, I would love that. You and he. So this is where the pennies were raining down from. One of the Presbyterian church here in town had their 175th anniversary. And when that happened, they had all this big stuff. And so they did this history thing, and then they donated some of the things, some of the original documents from the work of the farm or the plantation, actually. And I love this one. The daughters remember. The daughters remember. So this is theirs. And this is another reason I'm showing all this craziness. This is our history. Ignoring it is not going to make it change or go away. It happened. And so I keep telling them, gotta be careful. This is the entrance. That place came in. So we're going to go up this staircase.
And you couldn't remember if his name was James.
The child, I think he is, but I just can't remember. Do they have it on there?
James stuffed over else.
Because 11 were told when he died. Repeat that, Seth? Another original furniture actually that's why I pointed, that's what I saw. Sorry, my sister's on here. Hey, hi, sister. They opted on the table. It's original. Also, these and as well, we just saw a gentleman on top of the staircase. We really know about well, the reason for that, they didn't have central air. They would have opened up the windows from the front of the house. They would have the windows open in the back of the house. They would have raised that window to let the air. My brother, most of the houses in the region came from the circle. My brother lives in New Jersey, and his house was built in 1890. Had the same thing. This is Mrs. Decker's mother-in-law's house. Her room. This was her room. This door was not there. The Ballards created that door to go to the next room. The Ballards are the one that saw that off the red room. The bathroom there. But there's no tubs or showers. Yeah. They either had a basin that they used, or they just did. We use this for our rides. They need to dress here, have to take up here, their tents are here. Yes, that's the old things are. I was told that they had several of them, and one was more than like, why? This was just a fireplace insert. Something they had. The Ballards also installed, see around holes. It was the gas. They had gas on. They put natural gas in where there were like things where they had these had all been electrified. It changed from the original gas. But yeah, that's the only one they have left out of the heat fire. Isn't that a shame? I mean, this particular room has a lot of activity. This is the room that the little boy is usually seen in. This bed will bounce. I actually go up and down because you know as well as I know that 4 children and then the typical baby, they probably came in some room. When I was a little girl, I used to do the same thing. So we have videos of some of the rooms we've been in here where there's a board. And usually it's out to the college. This is also the room that I had last summer that someone came over and grabbed her sweater. And it is a video, and I got to watch it where she was scared to death, jumped up screaming, and you literally saw it. This is also the room where I had long hair, and you know how you pull in the ponytail and you have it hanging down. 4 people were all standing here together, and all of a sudden her hair was going up in the air and then falling. It was like somebody was playing with it. Yeah. That also plays in this room. A lot of activity.
James, girl, something on a wild man, born September 8th, 1842, died August 1843. I just found the girl's family Bible on Ancestry, which is in the library.
Oh, for goodness sake. That's amazing.
Look at this.
The paintings downstairs, they came to Bedford several years ago and were donated to the library. Really? And our board, who was newly formed, found out about it and said, wait a minute, you know, we're the Burrell family's home. Yeah. They really should be here. So they went and they lent them to us on like a permanent loan. Yeah. And then several years later, they told us to keep them. So that's how we got the portraits. That's the 2 in the dining room, the 1 in the foyer, and Mr. Burrell. And then Lillian and her son, that came several years later from somebody else that had those portraits. And we're like, yes! You know, we were taking this room also. You can see the pictures. We are in the process of turning this room into a museum. These are pictures of the wall of the earthquake and how it kind of all over there. And just the work that they did to get that wall. And just when we bought the property from Teddy, the shape of it, how it looks. Yeah. And it's, you know, it is personal. 35 years working on this thing. Oh, yeah. This particular year, starting in November, it has a full attic. It also has a full basement. Not a finished basement, it's just a dirt floor, but it's a floor chamber. Underneath each one of the main rooms is a basement area. It's a wall. So we're having a renovation. And the brick master told us that they would be in December. Started getting cooler, bad weather, it'll be inside work. So they're going to come in December. Just collections of old pictures and such. We have some books. I don't believe there are any of the originals from the Burrell family. But we have some books that are in storage. Just got that cabinet. We finished cleaning on the inside, the glass. So we're gradually turning this into a museum. Originally, it was the Burrell family's bedroom. All 6 of them. Mr. and Mrs. and all 4 daughters were just left in this room. Got this big house. Well, they did that because little girls don't stoke fire in the night. You know, and they were all under 5 feet tall, so they're only little tiny things. You know, so I don't know. Nobody has told me, and I haven't found. None of the diaries talk about it. I don't know if it's one bed for Mr. and Mrs. and one bed for the daughters, or a bunch of beds. I don't know. I just know all of them slept in this room with his closet. With his little tiny closet, you know. But that's the museum. This was not our door is nowhere. That's where that balcony was. But I can only imagine summertime, the door opens up and there's little girls and playing close the door. They catch that breeze. Even possibly on the porch, they catch that breeze. Because my grandmother had a bow for bay window. We used to do the same thing. All the windows were open. They're laying on the floor to catch it. I can also imagine those little girls on their over here. Oh, yeah. When they're showing like, having peace here. Because during that period of time, other than they're down to have dinner for their meals, or if they have company that they were included to visit with, the women of the household would stay up here. They don't go downstairs. They would not have been in that office. That office was for business. They would have never gone to the father's study. That's his study. So where would you go? They would stay here. And this would be where they would have their function. If you notice the acoustics, there's somebody downstairs you want to talk about? When we have functions here, we always tell them, you're just talking up here, just always up here, and don't hear it. And then we do have, we've seen it says the lead room, and this is another bedroom. Why do you use this bedroom? Well, this bedroom was as a guest room. They didn't have telephones. They didn't call anyone on it. Somebody would just show up. You never knew if they were going to stay a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, a year. This room was always kept for family. Does not have a closet. There's no staircase. That is original piece. It was built in Richmond in 1838 by original cabinet maker. I think the only reason it is still here is it was probably brought in sections and then put together here in history. No, we don't need it here. We call this the lead room. You know, that's the rocking chair that will rock by itself. It is not original to the house, but it will rock by itself. The sofa, the center will go down. It's just someone sitting here. We had a group sitting here not too long ago. And the man sat there, and the woman sat there, and as they were sitting there, the middle went down, and the arms got like this. Somebody sat down with them. So a lot of activity in this room. But we call this the lead room, and you can see all the pictures of General Robert E. Lee during the Civil War. His home, his plantation, Arlington. Arlington Cemetery is Robert E. Lee plantation. That was it. And so, what do you do with them? You can't leave them there. I mean, they would be prisoners of the federal government or the Union. They could have been kidnapped, killed, injured. What do you do with them? He took them all through the South to different plantations where they would stay for periods of time. Robert E. Lee's family stayed in this room during the summer. Not the whole time, just for a period of time. But he came to move to the plantation, trying to keep his family safe. One of the stories that happened after the Civil War, and you know, I don't know how much you know about history. Robert E. Lee, even though he was the general for the Confederate Army, was against it. He did not want this. And one of the famous quotes that he did is that he said that he wished he owned every slave in the world because he would set them free. He did not believe in slaves. However, he is a Virginian. This is his home. This is his country. That's why he accepted the general's position of the army. But after the war, he and his youngest daughter, after his wife Mary passed away, got on horseback and rode to all of the different plantations to thank them for their hospitality. When he and his daughter rode into town, the people were spreading. And so it just went like wildfire. Robert E. Lee's here. Robert E. Lee's here. And so people from all around the area, all the way as far as Lynchburg, were coming here by the hundreds. And they flocked here and they came here and they wanted to celebrate. They wanted to have a party. It's not a time for celebration. This is a time for rebuilding and rebirth. But I will greet and shake every man's hand. So he he stood in that collar, octagon table that I pointed out to you, had that table in front of him with a glass of water. And he said the line went down the steps of the house, down the street, down across Bridge Street, all the way to Main Street, all the way out to town. Line of people. And they said he heard the pin drop. It was very soft, no laughter or anything, because he said no, you know. And so one by one, the men came in the front door, went into the collar, shook his hand, and then walked out the side. So, you know, Maryland has all the places where George Washington.
Yeah, great.
So that's why this room is dedicated to him. This is where we have the picture of the cat. Yeah. You know, we have sofa here, the rocking chair, a lot of activity, a lot of people get things happen. We would love, I mean, I especially know, I'm from Maryland. I was introduced to this place in 2019. The architect, I had the money, this house, you know, the history. It is just so full of history. I mean, you really start reading the different things. A lot of history. A lot of shapers and movers took place in this house. I just don't know. I needed to be a part of it. I wanted to be a part of it. One of the things that we can't really, it is considered a museum house. We are a venue. So I can't fill it with furniture. That up here, because we use this room for the room and his attendants will come here and get dressed and do things. The bride's room, they'll go to the other room because it's the bathroom. And the interesting thing, when the Ballard family put that bathroom on, it was right on top of the balcony. If you look up at the balcony, it's just a little white where they put there, right there, that's where they built it. The entrance to get to the bathroom, you used to have to walk out to the balcony outside to get into the bathroom. After we took over, we decided, especially if we're going to go and have brides use that room, it took several men almost 3 months to break through that room. Really? And then, even though the door frame looks the same, and the door, it is all old, it came from the kitchen. So that wood in that door is from the 1838, but it's not from this building, it's from the kitchen. Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. So it's original, not to the house, but it's original. It's original to the property. Yeah. All right, so we'll go down this rural guy. They did have his funeral here. Those doors were closed and his coffin was very full. So people would have come in the front door. Our historian, she grew up here. Her father and mother were very active in the beginning of this. She's been involved with it practically her entire life. Her 3 boys were growing up as little babies in this place. She and her best friend were under 10. She said she thinks she was 9, but she's not really sure. But she knows she was a little kid. They used to ride their bikes over here on the property. And it was fun to park. And the kids, all the kids in the house come on it. Yeah, it's so hysterical. It's Halloween. The kids, I'm on a house, and they all come running up here. But you know, back then it was still known as the haunted house. They would dare each other to come up and look in the window. Her best friend came up, looked in the window, screamed, and went running. Annette never looked in, but to this day, her friend will swear that she looked in, she saw a coffin. Oh, probably his coffin. Probably, yeah. His coffin sitting there. A lot of people wouldn't know why the doors were big, because they had those big skirts. Yeah, they had to be able to fit through it. Yeah, be able to fit through it. I told you about Fanny and how Fanny died. Her husband, Captain Breckenridge, James Breckenridge, was so distraught when he found out that his young brother had died. That the very next battle they went out on, he led the charge way ahead of everybody else. He was just so full of grief that he just choked out. They never found his body until 1985. 2 boys from one of the old battlefields all around Virginia found this remains. And back at that particular time, your Confederate officers, they had to have their own uniforms made. Breckenridge family is still here. And so we've been trying to get them, what did you do for the body? They did have a memorial service for them. But in the cemetery, there is a Breckenridge where Fanny is buried, and it has his name on it too. Not even their names. The Burrell families are all together in the cemetery there in Longwood, the old cemetery in Longwood Avenue. And to show you another respect that they had for their black slaves, well, they actually called them girls. Is that one of them that they were very, very fond of, that they named Patricia, is buried there with them. And Longwood Cemetery, all the way up until recently, like cemetery, you would not have buried another name buried in the cemetery. But yet their slave is buried with them. That's how close they are to them. And, yeah, that's very cool. It is pretty cool. They had a different attitude. I mean, they had them and they bought them. But they said, in the diary, they talk about how the mother said that it was their responsibility to take care of them. Many of them came with nothing, not even clothes on their body. And so they clothed them when they were sick. The doctor came down and took care of them. I told you how they were taught to read and write if they wanted to learn. When they came here, now you figure, most of these came off the boat and were sold and brought to these plantations. They were told, what would you like to do? What would you like to learn? And they were taught the trade. So they were taught how to dig, how to cook. They were taught how to sew, how to take care of animals, how to farm, how to take care of blacksmithing. They were given all life lessons. Oh, wow. So like I said, at the end of the war, they didn't want to leave. They did very well, and they had other slaves that would come here and think they could. And they took care of them. Which is probably what happened, why the house went to such disarray, because they were losing money. And then one of her daughters talked her into opening a sanitarium for women and children, which she did, which basically, so in the end of their life, they were really bankrupt. From this prominent family building this beautiful big house, Avenel. And how did it get its name? All right, because Avenel is an unusual name. How did you get that? You spell Avenel wrong. Now, he was an avid reader. Remember I told you he came with 200 books. He was a big fan of Walter Scott. And one of his books, Monastery, the Manor House in that book. Now, to take it one step further, in that book, Monastery, they talk about a spirit known as the White Lady. Now, did they bring that White Lady with them? Did they imagine it? What? However, there's enough people that have actually seen it. Miss Peggy, who moved in here, saw the White Lady. She has been seen in the garden. That was all surrounded by boxwood. Several years ago, the boxwood placed in this area and it killed our boxwood. So they pulled that down. After the city, right here. Okay. I'm trying to give you the dimensions. No, you're good. The White Lady is seen walking around that area. She has been seen walking in the gardens. That was the rich place of the video that they got. People were always reporting these things. That's the problem. The spirit that goes by itself, one of the ones not a doctor, but that's what they call him. He has been a demonstration being here. There's another one that's in a tuxedo. He wears a gray tuxedo with a top hat. They're not sure if he was the coachman or if he was the butler. Both of them wore tuxedos. Also, last summer, when I came back, the group was all excited that they were talking to somebody that identified themselves as Elizabeth. There has never been an Elizabeth that lived here. And I'm like, I have no clue. I could not answer. And I said, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm not going to call my historian. But I will find out. We'll come to find out. The mover and the shaker of the committee that decided to buy this house. So obviously she was, they were able to.
That's neat. I like that.
So who knows some of the other, these are only ones that have been kind of documented, seen, and repeated by enough people. I told you earlier that the Sci-Fi Channel was here, and they brought one of their psychics. She walked all over. She was down in the basement. She was up in the attic, and she said, nothing. There's nothing. Just rain.
Yeah.
Like a heading. Loss of the home, seeing it go down. Loss of the daughter looking for her food. At that same time, that they gave, she was just wondering, looking for her. This is it. This is Avenel. The back is where you see the cell. Now, when the basement had a floor, because there's really nothing down there. And so they have the heating that we put in, the heating and the air conditioning vent. We cleaned it all out. There's nothing in there. It's just dirt floors. There are sections. To get from one section to another, it's all about this hot. That's over. Yeah. But it's real. Now, what you have, what is horrible? I mean, I think the worst thing that's ever happened to me is I've had that happen to me.
They were holding my hand.
They give me a lock. I've had lights going on and off, the candles will come on, the lights will sway. I had this sleep, when the first time I took over, I said I want to sleep. I gave it a thorough top to bottom. And I had somebody that came and said, oh, I'll help. And she wasn't washing the crystals on the candles. I said, no, they need to be washed. Man, you can't even see that they're black, they're so dirty. When I finished washing them, I hot soapy water with vinegar. If I put them back up there, all of a sudden they were doing this. And they would sway this way. They wouldn't do this. And I kind of held them. Went to get the other one, turn around, and it's doing this again. And so I just yelled, she came running in. She goes, oh, they're just happy because you're cleaning. Oh, you made their day. There's where the bells, and around the house, different locations you will see the bell. That's one of them. I don't think that's the one. I think that's one on the other side. So she had it right here to the door. There's another bell. Okay. Now that does have a clapper in it. You see it has a clapper. I can't quite tell. I want somebody to get there. Well, you can't. I mean, they're all cut off. They're not there anymore in the house. But those were the spray to alert servants when they were needed. The different rooms. Just like the Downton Abbey, you see that with the different bells would ring. Same thing. It would call somebody to come to help or do some work. This leads to the basement, and the one on the other side does. We put the covers over. Because the hard rains were also coming in. And to keep the water out, we built that in. And of course, our we had to put that in. It's because we're a venue, we have to make our customers comfortable. Yeah, I don't think they would like this in hot weather. No. We're putting up with one of our little. We don't allow smoking in the house, but on the porch and on the ground. So we keep the little buckets there for people. So they not. Yeah. The barn down there, that was built in the 1900s. Probably they bought the house in 1906, so probably between 1907 and 1910 when the barn went on. That's the original smokehouse, so that would have been put in 1838 when they moved in. If you go this way, there's a white house there. That is the house that the doctor that married Kate built for his mistress. Near that house is another house that after Lily got married, she had moved there and stayed. So a lot of the little houses around here are all connected.
And the barn and the smokehouse, are we able to get in it?
The smokehouse is kept locked. They don't go in there. The barn, you can open the door and go in if you want to go in there. But it's not in the barn that I've ever seen because it's all these like little corrals in there. I don't know how they get in there because there's no gates or anything to open. And we were just talking about that, probably using it for storage. And I said, well, you're going to have to do two things. You're going to have to break down some of these walls to be able to walk around and get things stored in there. And you're going to have to secure it because we're always going in there and closing it up. Yeah, kids like to get up to the loft because it's like a little ladder you climb up. And we'll see the top little door open all the time. So we're always going in and closing that. But they don't keep it locked. So if you want to go down there. But the smokehouse is kept locked for two reasons. We do have some equipment in there that we keep in there, but more importantly, the foundation around it that is starting to crumble. And we looked into having that repaired, but right now. We're going to start. I want to go up there so bad. I don't want to. the device up there on the landing that will make a noise if you walk past it. It will not hurt you. It will just let us know that you are here. You wanna hold my hand? Because you wanna hold my, thanks for making it colder. No, it says thanks for making it colder. Is that say none of that? You wanna play a game? What voice is on the edge of the bed? You can grab it there and touch it, the won't hurt.
Can you touch the ball again? Make the red light come on?
Did it get colder in here?
A little bit.
You see that? Touching his ball. It's cold. Can you touch the other side? No, sweetheart, we didn't make it cold in here. Do you feel cold? Can you touch the ball again to let us know you are here? Oh, there we go. Thank you. Mine is a teddy bear. What is yours? Oh, we have a color
colorful ball on there, and there's a
balls on the bed. Touch those, make them flash, so we can see you on the bed.
what is it?
I like those.
Oh, well, I like those too, sweetheart. Look, we have some colorful balls on the bed. Yeah, I like those. Can you touch one of the balls? It'll light up and make pretty colors.
It's got the rainbow.
Can you touch the one near the bear?
You touch one. They won't hurt you. They're safe. All of the equipment we've got is safe. Did you say?
What is your story?
What is your story? We are investigators and we investigate amazing little people like you.
They keep saying, oh, there's Paul again.
Hello.
Hi, honey.
Do you like my voice? Do you like Shelly's voice?
Can you touch one of the balls and make it light up? They're pretty cool to play with.
It'd be really, really good to see you, John.
Alive. Is your friend charging up for alive yet? Not yet? No wonder. Nope, mine's at 47. And I haven't even used it. It was 100 when we started. All right, Faye, I would love to say nothing to this little boy. He is such a charming little boy, but we have got to get that up. We'll come back and play.
Come back to you soon.
He wants to know what 2 plus 2 is.
Do you know what 2 plus 2 is? That's 4, isn't it?
We'll move the bear back a little bit.
Who's up for the show?
Yep. Maybe you like to sleep with grandma.
Both hands light up. No, you love me.
I would like to. The machine I'm holding in my hand will help me see better. Are you here with your grandmother? I like classical music, do you? That chair, or? That's, okay, so that's that one right there is is inside the room. That one is outside the room. Is this the spirit of James, the 11-month-old? I like Charlotte's Web. No, what's your favorite color? I like blue. How about you? How about you tell me what 2 plus 2 is? I think it's 3. Good.
Yeah, we want to.
There you are. Can you touch one of the little balls that's on the bed? Make it go off. Not gonna hurt you. You're already touching the bear and making it go off and talking to us through it. I have a brother and a sister. Linda has a brother. I have Rachel here. If you roll one of the balls over to me, or at least touch it so that it'll go off. Why are you climbing up the wall? Sometimes. Like cookies. We have crackers downstairs. But I like spaghetti. Oh, what? Also, you muted. The bear. That touch your tummy, so that you touch one of the cat balls, or is it sitting in front of the bear? But,
Hello guys, welcome back. I do apologize for that last part being so dark. This was one of our very first investigations. And we had Sherry on with us the entire time because we didn't want to mess it up. But what can we do about the light? That was something that happened in the middle, but we did catch some great stuff. I did have at least 12 more hours of evidence, but when I went to go through it to upload for this, they were all corrupted. I tried to recover them, and I couldn't even recover the ones for outside. So I will continue to try to work through that. But if you guys have not done so, go and subscribe to us. As Chad said in the chat, Saturday, 7:30, we will be trying to do a live at our location where we will be. I am super, super excited for this one. We have never been here before. If you guys have heard me talk about it throughout the other shows, we are going to Penhurst. But as far as this investigation that we just watched, I will be going back over and trying to recover more. The outside stuff, Sis took a lot of photos as we were going, and she caught an apparition walking across the grass out back. Can't find that neither. So I will continue to look through it. But on our other shows that we have done for the Evelyn is up on our channel. So if you would like, go and find that on our channel. It is labeled the Evelyn House or Plantation. But like Chad said, if you guys want to help us on getting to other investigations and helping us starting to travel, you can donate, or you can get Smith Fam merch in the link that is underneath me. And that will definitely help out. We are going away. We are leaving tomorrow. So it was very important that I get this investigation out tonight, so I didn't have that to worry about. But we did it. It was fun. That would be gutting when you invest so much time to investigating and then lose your evidence. I was so upset, honestly. I still have it on my computer, but it has this white screen that comes up, and it says that it cannot support the video. But I am still going to work on it because Sherry, Sis can tell you, I had a camera in just about every room. In the main room, when the tour started, off to the left and where the fireplace was, we lost light in there too. But there's a mirror up on the wall that is a portal. Literally, you saw shadows. And Sis can vouch because she watched a lot of the evidence before I lost it too. There were shadows walking. And you could see the doorway and see the window. Not the window, the mirror. And it was that close. So it was pitch dark. Nobody was in that area. When we were going through the tour, where I posted up the picture of Robert E. Lee in the back, that was that staircase there. It was literally right behind it. And I lost that evidence too, but that picture. So I was able to do it in that as well. Yeah, I know. And there was nothing negative there. There was absolutely nothing demonic there. It was a very sad place because there was a lot of love there. A lot of love. They loved their servants. They called them family. They had a lot of people, famous people. It's a lot of places. Even when we went into the barn and we were looking around, I lost that too. So I do plan on putting that on the bucket list again as places to go, because we do want to go back in that area, because there is a couple other places there that we want to go and investigate. There's a hospital there. There's the cemetery that she was talking about. We can go there. I did check that out. So when we do go back, whenever that is, we will add the cemetery to that as well. Maybe we'll find their graves, pay them a visit, leave them an offering, pay some respects, and go from there. I mean, I don't expect to film if we go to the cemetery. If we're allowed, then that's fine. But we are always, always respectful where we go. Just like Penhurst. I called and I made sure we were allowed to film not only the historical part, because everybody knows I am a sucker for history. I absolutely love it. And that is why I added the history part in here, Christine, because I know I'm not the only one that loves the background, the backstories, and the walkthroughs. So whenever they offer it to us, that took us 2.5 hours to do that walkthrough. But I did have to cut some out because Miss Irene was talking about another group, and we're not about that. They disrespected the property and did what she asked them not to do, and go in the attic, go in the basement, and go in the office. So I wasn't about to put them out on blast, and I wasn't about to disrespect the property, because that's not who we are. But I hope to see you guys Saturday. Maybe tomorrow I will do little films, little shorts on our travels to where we are going. There was a few other places that Sis and I have talked about on going. The weather is not looking very well to go. So if that is the case during the summertime, we will make a plan to come back. I don't know if it's going to be this summer, but one of the summers where it is nice, not snow, because obviously I didn't know it was going to snow, but this is our only chance to go to Penhurst before their last one's December 17th. I think that's a Saturday. And after that, they're closing it all down. Ew, cat. Sorry. So, yes, exciting. So, until then, I will see you guys. Ew. Sorry, that was my cat wanting my attention. Wait. She loves to be on camera, and I was trying to focus, and she was gnawing at me. Thank you, sis. So I will see you guys maybe tomorrow on our road trip down. Take some cool pictures and post them for you, and some little short videos and post them. But until then, much love to you guys. If you feel like you can donate, I know times are tough, especially around the holidays. Please do so. The link is in the chat and in the scroll underneath. Other than that, I'll see you guys later on. Have a safe night. Happy Thanksgiving. Love you guys.